Hello there and welcome back. My name is Elena.
And I am Fotios, and this is the Game Court.
And today we're going to talk about a prototype game called Survive Alive.
And this is a preview video of this game that is going to be released on crowdfunding during summer. Survive Alive is designed by Rick McGowan and is played by 1 to 4 players.
I wanted to quickly kindly mention that the copy was sent to us by the publisher. Thank you very much to preview. So whatever you might see in this video might be a little bit different whenever it goes on crowdfunding.
And generally we do really much enjoy all of these X and write games. And this in the base is a draw and write game.
In Survive Alive, on your turn you will try to build, scavenge and defend your base camp against the Zeds, which are technically something similar to zombies, I would say, but they're called Zeds.
No, it's not zombies. It's Zeds. It's the Zeds.
The Zeds.
The Zeds.
Zeds.
Zeds are way more powerful than zombies, if you didn't know.
If you don't know about zombies, now you know.
In Survive Alive, each player has a dry erase board, which represents your base camp, but also there is a common board, which is some sort of a community map where there are several locations that you may go around.
Yeah, something like ruins where the Zeds already took over and you will try to get some resources and scavenge and stuff like that, because that's what one of the actions is scavenge, isn't it?
And as Elena already mentioned, in your base camp you may build some buildings that will allow you to do some cool stuff. One of these buildings, for instance, is barricades that will allow you to defend against the Zeds. Or watchtowers, which you can even more effectively defend against the Zeds.
They give you super protection.
But also you can build gardens, you can build food gardens. Or
that's just to keep you going, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Or herb gardens to heal your characters.
Also you have stuff like beds, like dormitories and toilets and stuff like that, to actually get the morale of the people that you have in the base camp up, because it's very important for people to be happy when they fight the Zeds.
Or you have other buildings like the radio or the telecom center or the workshop that give you other cool stuff around the game, but also the medical tents, which allow you to heal your characters more effectively.
One super important aspect of the game is that you can keep up to 5 people in your base camp that you will have to provide for, but also they can help you defend the camp itself if it's attacked by Zeds, because it gets attacked every single time, or when you go foraging outside. You can equip your people with a variety of weapons. They all come with the same weapons, but you can buy different ones for different people, and every character can hold up to 2 weapons.
In the beginning of the game, you start with 2 of these characters, and each character gives you a unique ability, which might be that can be activated once per round, or it might be that you get it whenever you obtain the character. But you have some asymmetry in your game anyway. But also you have some asymmetry when it comes to the base camps, because we may have the same base camp, or we may have different base camps with different stuff happening around. Now the game is played over 6 rounds, and in the beginning of each round you start with a lot of resource cubes, and these resource cubes might be metal or wood or food or herbs or wild or cloth, any number of cubes. So in the beginning you may have some control over that, but as the game progresses you're going to get random cubes from the draw
bag.
And in the first phase of the game you have to use these cubes, these resources, to do stuff around your camp, basically build buildings and forge weapons. In the second phase you have to discard all of these cubes unless you have space in the warehouse to save for it for the next round.
Although there is a continuous conversion in the game of 4 resources to 1 of whatever you want, so it's easy to convert a lot of resources if you have some extra lying around instead of throwing them away, and you can store or do something else with them.
And you can improve this conversion down to 2 to 1 if you build particular buildings.
And after you spend all these resources in your base camp, you keep the food, because that's what you'd normally do. You'd keep the food, and then you take that food to go scavenge if you want to scavenge. So it's an optional part of the game that if you want to do, obviously, you will have to send at least 1 character. You can pair them up, and these people will go and scavenge on the main board, which is common for everybody. There is a map in there that's already divided for 2, 3 or 4 players, and you can go to buildings that cost 1 food, 2 foods or 3 foods. Now the difference in between these foods is the buildings that require more food will have less Zeds to actually defend against. And if you're successful and you defend yourself against the Zeds, you get as reward either points or a character that you can keep into your base camp, or you can discard the character for the resources that are on the card. I think it's 4 resources that you can get from whatever they actually have. You don't get all the resources, you get 4 cubes of whatever they have on their cards.
But if your defense value is not high enough, then you get attacked by the Zeds and get some wounds to the degree that may even kill your characters.
3 wounds, you're done.
Yes. And then in phase 4, what happens? We have the so-called event resolution, that is. So what happens is that you have 4 sides of your base camp that you can barricade and put some defense on, north, south, east, west. And then you draw a card or multiple cards, depending on which round you are. And for each of these cards, Zeds are coming from that side, from a side, like, from east or from west. And a lot of zombies are coming. I think it's up to 11 or 12 zombies in the 6th round, I would say. But in the earlier rounds, it's less zombies.
There's a lot of zombies.
It's a lot of Zeds. Oh. So a lot of Zeds coming to attack your base, and as Lena said, you may have characters out scavenging, and these characters will not help you defend your base, but any characters in your base, you can assign them in a position in north or south or east or west to potentially help you defend that side of the base, along with the barricades and the watchtowers.
If you have nobody in the camp, or the person that was in the camp already died, the Zeds will start attacking the buildings that you have already built, and that's quite painful because you cannot rebuild them, and everything is just going to be very difficult from you. Yeah.
And this event resolution card also tells you how many resources you draw blindly from the bag for the next round, and you may draw additional resources if you have 1 or 2 characters in play. And if you have built the command center, some of these resolution cards, event resolution cards, they also allow you to get an extra character at the end of every round.
And after all of this has happened, you evaluate the morale of the people that you have in the camp, if you have anybody left. Because there are a lot of Zeds in this game, and people die very fast. So you'll just have to be very mindful of what's actually going on there. If the morale of the people is not satisfied, so you'll have to have two of the three conditions. So you'll have to have food to feed them, beds to sleep in, and toilets to go use.
Yeah.
So that's fairly basic. I think that's fairly, understandable.
Reasonable, yes.
If you have not fulfilled at least 2 of them, then you will lose 1 resource for every person that has not been satisfied.
And you go like this for 6 rounds, basically. Hopefully you're not dead by the end of the game, yes. So the game overall has a lot of resource management, and you have to make sure to build the buildings to protect your camp and also provide for your people, but also, to heal them as they get wounded from the attacks of the Zeds. It's a lot of, scavenging and exploration, where you can get different stuff from the different places, right?
And although this game is not your typical roll and write, so it doesn't have combos, I think it has no combos, if anything. It feels more like a zombicide kind of roll and write situation. You do build a lot of buildings, and you do a lot of scavenge, and there's a lot of fighting in this game as well, so it's a different kind of roll and write.
And in our opinion, it's quite thematic as well. The integration of theme is there, because you try to build a nice base camp so that is protected by the Zeds, but also, especially when you scavenge and then you randomly get a benefit, you don't know what the benefit is, if it is resources or a new character or whatever it is. This also feels quite thematic. The game has solo and cooperative modes, and as far as we understand, the designer is going to be introducing some scenarios, and we checked one of these scenarios for the co-op mode. It's about finding Jojo, which sounds very cool. You start with 3 characters, but 1 base camp between the 2 players, and then 2 of these characters go scavenging all the time until they find Jojo.
Righty, so that was it for today.
We hope you enjoyed our preview video for Survive Alive.
And keep an eye out for the summer in case you're interested.
Thank you so much for watching.
See you later.
Bye.